woods are meant to be peaceful, a place of solitude, adventure, and mystery, but sometimes they hold something far more sinister. Creatures lurking beyond the trees, voices whispering in the darkness, and things that should not exist. Tonight, we uncover 3 terrifying encounters that will make you think twice before stepping into the forest alone. Keep your lights on, and whatever you do, don't turn around. It was supposed to be a peaceful getaway, just a man, his tent, and the quiet of nature. He had set up camp in a clearing, miles away from civilization. As night fell, the only sounds were the chirping of crickets and the occasional rustling of leaves. But then, something changed. The air grew heavy, the forest went silent, and that's when he felt it. Someone watching him. At first, he dismissed it as paranoia, but then, as he lay in his tent, he heard it. A faint shuffle, slow, deliberate, circling his tent. Holding his breath, he peeked through the fabric, expecting to see an animal. But what he saw was worse. A tall, shadowy figure, standing perfectly still at the edge of his camp. It didn't move. It didn't breathe. It just watched. Panicked, he grabbed his knife, but the moment he reached for it, the figure was gone. The next morning, he found footprints surrounding his tent, but they weren't human. And whatever it was, it had stood there for hours, watching, waiting. A group of hikers decided to camp near an old abandoned cabin deep in the woods. Everything was fine until one of them noticed something. A figure, barely visible, watching them from a distance. Every time they looked away, it seemed to be closer. They decided to pack up and leave, but as they hurried back, the air around them grew heavy, suffocating. A deep, guttural growl echoed from the trees. Panic set in. They ran, faster and faster, but no matter how far they got, the feeling of being watched never left. When they finally made it back to the road, their relief was short-lived. They turned back one last time, and the figure was still there, standing at the tree line, closer than ever, and this time, it was smiling. Our final story comes from a man named Daniel, who found himself lost in the woods one night after his car broke down on a deserted road. His phone battery was nearly dead, and with no signal, he had no choice but to walk until he found help. That's when he saw her. A woman, standing completely still between the trees. She was wearing a long white dress, her head slightly tilted, her hair covering her face. She wasn't moving, wasn't speaking, but somehow he could feel her watching him. At first he called out, no response. He took a step closer, and that's when he heard it, a whisper. Not from her, but from behind him. A chill ran down his spine. He turned back toward the woman, but she was closer now. Her head still tilted. Her whispering had started low and frantic, like a swarm of voices crawling into his ears. The words made no sense, but the sound burrowed deep into his skull, making him feel dizzy, sick. Daniel's instincts screamed at him to run, but his body felt wrong, as if something was holding him in place. The whispering grew louder. He finally found the strength to lift his phone, switch on the flashlight, and in that blinding second, she was gone. The silence was worse. He spun in circles, scanning the trees, his breath ragged. That's when his phone vibrated. A notification, a new video file. He hesitated, then pressed play. The video was of him, walking through the woods, but the footage was from behind him, as if someone or something had been following him the entire time. Heart pounding, he turned off his phone and ran. He doesn't remember how he got back to the road, but when a passing truck finally picked him up, the driver noticed something strange. The entire ride, Daniel never spoke a word. He only sat there, muttering to himself in a voice that wasn't his own. When the driver asked if he was okay, Daniel finally looked up and smiled. She's still whispering,